we are having an amazing time with comedian, actor, director, producer. Okay. Hello.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
AJ Jamal. Now, did that kind of hit you a little bit?
Wow. Yeah. I totally forgot I was a producer and a writer and all of that because I have done all that. And I've had Warner Brother release one of my movies and I made nothing from it, but Warner Brother got made paper. So that's why I'm excited about doing film, acting, but I'm really a comedian. I've been a comedian all my life, really, since the third grade.
Wow. Well, AJ, tell us
Yeah.
about your career, though. I mean, a lot of people don't know, and I remember in Living Color. Ah. So
Oh,
tell me
yeah.
about
Oh,
this.
yeah. Oh, well, number one, I'm so happy to see Jamie doing better because Jamie Foxx is, I will always tell people that if it wasn't for Jamie Foxx, I wouldn't have never been on In Living Colors. He fought for me to get on that show and he made it happen. I always tell people that Jamie Foxx is one of the nicest brothers you'll ever meet. I mean, all the Oscars he have and all the songs and music, Jamie is so I'm happy he's doing better. But I started off in Cleveland, Ohio. I was an engineer with IBM. I have a master's in electrical engineering. Go figure. I cheated a lot. I'll be honest. You need to know. Tell all these young kids, you need to know where to sit when you take the hard classes. If you take a hard class and it look like somebody gonna fail, yeah, exactly. That's the thing. You got it right there. You need to know. Sit next to the if it's a class where you got it.
Yo,
If it's a
I,
class where there's a lot of spelling, sit next to the Indian dude. If it's a class where it's a lot of math and science, sit next to the Asian dude. If it wasn't for Wong Chong Long Lee, I would have never passed physics. Me and Wong Chong both got 98 on our final.
oh
Me
my
and Wong Chong both
gosh.
missed number 2. How was that? Who would have ever thought we both missed number 2 and we both got 98? Only 2 people in the whole class got
Terrible.
98. Me
Terrible.
and Wong Chong Long Lee.
You're terrible.
So
That is
that being
horrible, but I
said, I
can't say I
left
didn't
I
do it.
and I'm you know I'm not the only one, so I don't feel so bad.
No, you're
Wait a
not.
minute. So I left IBM. I left IBM and I'm dating myself now. This is how old I go back. I left IBM in 86. And so that's how far I go back. And I went downtown Cleveland, Ohio, and my first open mic night, I sat back there with a guy named Drew Carey. And Drew Carey hosts The Price is Right. He's from Cleveland, Ohio. He still has mad love for Cleveland like I do. And we sat that back down there and I won that open mic night and I got a chance to come back and host again. I got $50. And then I got to start working around the Cleveland scene. And IBM started seeing me on the paper. And I was the worst engineer ever hired. If you look in the book and say, who's the worst engineer ever hired? It'll be me like, it's me. So IBM said, we'll give you money to leave IBM and start your comedy career. And they did. And so that's how I started in comedy. I moved to LA in 87 and I got me a big agent because I knew some people out there. And that's how I started. Matter of fact, the whole story is I went to my undergraduate was at Kent State University. And at Kent State University, there's a lot of talent down there. Myself, Arsenio Hall was there. Steve Harvey was there. Drew Carey was there. And so Arsenio said to us one day, hey man, I'm about to leave college and and we're like, what you gonna do? He said, well, I want to be a comedian. And we were like, but you ain't funny. You need to stay in college. He go, no, I got a couple jokes and I got a magic trick. I'm like, you gonna leave college for 2 jokes and a magic trick? And he left college and he went to Chicago and he hooked up with Patti LaBelle and he hooked up with their people. And then he left, he started opening up for Patti LaBelle. And then he left Chicago and he went to LA and hooked up with a manager called Roy Gerber. And so I started seeing his career take off, and I'm so proud of Arsenio because I know him from Cleveland. And then when I left IBM, I went to LA and I said to Roy Gerber, I walked to his office, I knocked on the door and I said, hey, I'm a big friend of Arsenio Hall and I need management. And Roy Gerber said, I hate Arsenio Hall. And I said, well, I'm not that big of a friend. I just knew him 1 or 2 days. And so he said, and this is how Hollywood works. I just walked into this man's office. So he says, "Are you funny?" I go, "Yeah, I'm funny." He picks up the phone and he calls Shirley Berger. He says, "Shirley, I got a comedian I want to open up for the Temptations this weekend." And Shirley Burgers was the manager of the Temptations. I think he might still be around. He has to be about 118. So Shirley goes, "What's his name?" And Roy goes, "AJ Jamal." He goes, "AJ Jamal." He said, what kind of name is that? And Roy goes, "It's Jewish. Put him on the show." And he hung up the phone. And I was opening up for the Temptation that weekend. He'd never seen me
Jewish?
perform and never see. Yeah, that's what he told Shirley I was Jewish.
Oh my
He said
gosh.
he's that's the hookup they have in LA. And that weekend, I opened up for the Temptations. It was like 2,000 people at the amp. And Roy Gerber came to the show, and I destroyed them. They didn't know I was a comic. And Roy said, "You're a very funny person. I want to sign you." And so he signed me, and he hooked me up with a big agency called William Morris. And the three Black people that was at William Morris was myself, Tommy Davis, Martin Lawrence, and me, Tommy Davis, Martin Lawrence, and there was one more. I'll think of his name. I always forget his name. And we were the young guns of comedy. And of course, I was the only clean one, and all the other ones became rich and famous. And me being clean, but I will always be clean, and that's just my spirit. That's the way I am. And so,
Yeah.
but all of them are still good people. And so that's how I got started in comedy. And I've been doing, I've opened up because I was clean comedian. I open up for every act you can imagine. Like Diana Ross, I was with Diana Ross for 4 years. And that's
Wow.
because she didn't want nobody bothering her audience. She didn't want nobody cursing. And she wanted a clean comedian. And then Cher went on a tour called the Hearts of Stone tour. So I did the Hearts of Stone tour with Cher. And I'm talking about Aretha Franklin. Everybody, you name a person, I opened up for them. And that's how I started. I started my comedy career, opening up for
Wow.
major acts.
Wow. And it's so funny because, well, it's kind of ironic. They say that and I'm sorry for the hand thing. They say that you
I love it. I love it.
they say
I
that
love it.
you're never more than 2 steps away from someone who knows someone else that is, you know what I
Right.
mean? So think about it this way.
Right.
You opened up for the Temptations. What year was that?
87.
Wow. Wow. So in 87, I'm not really sure when did Glenn Leonard leave the band? Was he still there?
I
The
know
soprano?
I know a Glenn Leonard.
You know him
He
because
was
I did the Hitsville live show with Glenn for 3.5 years. I was actually Diana
wow.
Ross in the
Glenn
show.
Leonard.
I was the singer, Diana Ross
Were
in
you?
the live show. Yes, I was. So I was with
I
Glenn.
know the name Glenn Leonard.
Glenn Leonard,
That's
he
so
sang
interesting.
Silent Night in the Temptations. He was the soprano that replaced the soprano. I forgot what the guy's name was. Anyway, he replaced him.
Oh, okay. No, he wasn't there.
He
He
wasn't
came
there?
later. No,
Okay.
he came later. That's where I know him from after I left.
Right.
Let me tell you who was there. Otis
Mhm.
was still there. Melvin was still there. Uh, Dennis Edwards was there because
Okay.
I was with Dennis. I was with Dennis when they kicked him out. I was with the Temptation when they kicked Dennis out of the group for personal reason I won't mention.
Mhm.
But he didn't show up for the show. And then they replaced Dennis with a guy named Ollie Woodson who
Mhm.
passed away. I loved Ollie Woodson. And so Dennis was there. And a guy who still sing with him, he took over Eddie Kendrick's place. Oh, he's gonna kill me for not remembering his name because the guy who sings oh man, you should Google it, Rip. I'll think of his name. My memory is
Uh-uh.
just gone. But those was the
Let me
members.
go
And
ahead and get this because you don't want nobody telling you nothing later on.
Tyson, no, Tyson came, but I was with the Temptations for like 19, 20 years. So they've had so many groups, people come in and out. Ron Tyson, his name is Ron Tyson.
Okay.
He took Eddie Kendrick's place. And
Okay,
then
gotcha.
Dennis Edward left, and Ollie Woodson took his place. And then
Mhm.
after Ollie Woodson, that's when Leonard must have came in. He must have
Yeah,
came in after Ollie.
because he was the soprano that
Yeah.
sang Silent Night. And I went on
Right.
tour with him for the His for Life show for 3.5 years. And then
Wow.
it kind of died down a little bit because because he has another show. And then when he came back, COVID hit. Boom.
Right. But he's
Yeah.
still doing what he do, huh? He's
He's
still
still
singing
doing
out
what
there.
he does. I think he went over to Germany. He's doing his thing, man. He's still doing
Right.
it.
Right.
Still doing it. Almost
Right.
80 years old.
He is.
Yeah.
He actually well, Otis, who started the Temptation, has to be 80. He
Hmm.
has to be getting up there. You know who's still out there? And I open up for him too, and I love him too. Smokey Robinson is still
Oh
out there
my
performing,
gosh.
thinking he's sexy. He think he's sexy. Smokey Robinson coming out stage with a see-through shirt, and you can see his
Oh,
little raisins under his see-through shirt. And I'm like, Smokey, come on now. You're not a teenager. And he be moving. Smokey think he got it. Smokey got to be about 100.
well,
Smokey,
I have to
Smokey
say,
performed at the first supper.
he's still
That's how
making
old
women
Smokey is.
swoon. He's still making women
Yeah,
swoon.
right. Yeah, right. You're right. I love Smokey Robinson, but he's still singing. I love people who still doing what they doing. Did you see New Edition on stage? They got
I
New Edition back and
did.
they went on tour.
I did. And actually, Omar Wilson, who went on tour with Boyz II Men, who is still doing their thing,
Right.
is actually the gentleman that I've booked for one of the events I'm doing in Atlanta coming up. So, but you have an
Oh,
event coming up next year as well. It is a cruise because right now you're on a cruise.
I'm on a ship right now. I'm on Princess Cruise and I'm in Alaska, which none of my
Alaska.
people are here.
It's cold in
Please, I walk out
Alaska.
on very cold. You know what I said? I walked out on stage the other day. I said, I feel like a raisin in a bowl of milk. I ain't never seen so many white people. And they just, I mean, there's none of us here. And so,
No, you in
and
Alaska.
they,
You
exactly,
expect me to go to Alaska? Is
that's what
nobody
my
paying
sister
me?
said. My, that's
Ain't
a,
nobody paying me?
oh, but let me tell you this, and I still can't convince people. Alaska is very beautiful and it's very
Wonderful.
tranquil and it's very, you come on now, Alaska, y'all people. I can't convince people. I don't know why I'm talking.
It's
I ain't convincing no
cold.
black people to come to Alaska.
It's cold. Listen. You stay up there too long, you start getting light skinned in it.
You you do get light skinned, and that's gonna take a lot of cold for me to get light skinned.
Yo, but
There
you
was
get
a
light
sister,
skinned in it. It's not light skinned.
what
It's light
light
skinned
skinned
in
it,
it.
light skinned it. You know what? And I tell you how funny it is. One of my friends, she sings on cruise ships too. She's out of Vegas. She was on the ship and we were in Alaska. It was so cold. She canceled her night she had to perform because she was too cold. I never heard of that like that. Her room was so cold, she didn't perform that night because it was too cold. And what's funny is I called her and said, Chaser is her name. Chaser's on social media. Like, I love Chaser. She does Whitney Houston review.
Mm.
So I called Chaser and I said, Chaser, what room were you in? Because I'm about to cancel my show. I called them 4 times and said, it is too cold in this room. And I understand now why you didn't do your show. Because I'm freezing and I'm about to get sick. And you're right. Alaska gets cold, but I like them. I just
Mm-mm.
like doing cruise
You
ships.
definitely did no justice for your cause.
I need to come to Alaska. Oh,
You
the ship
just
I'm
did no
doing is not going
justice
to
for
be
your
going to Alaska.
cause.
Wait a minute. The ship I'm doing, and it's going to be a small, very small charter. So people are going to have to get their tickets and stuff early. It's going to be next Mother's Day week, and it's going to be May 11th to the 18th. It's going to leave out of Los Angeles because I don't have no money to be flying people around. So a lot of my friends are in Los Angeles, and I'm going to put this together myself. I've been on some social medias. I'm so old. I'm not a big social media fan, but I'm gonna have to learn. I'm gonna have to hire you to do my social media. That's what I have to do. And so I'm gonna start putting that together. It'll be up next week. I have something up there next week, but I don't want nobody to go to Facebook and see it because I had to change the date from January to May. And the reason being, I didn't know. Cruise ships take a year for you to book it, to sell it, and for people to go on it. A
Yeah.
year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, entertainers, we don't work a year from now. We don't know if we're going to be around a year from now. So what I had to do, I booked the ship like 7 months before. And someone said, you're booking it too early, AJ. And I go, no, it's 7 months. I got to promote it. They said, but now by the time you finish putting it together, contracts, and it's going to be like 5 months. And that's exactly what happened. I was putting it together, and time it takes, I mean, because you're not in control of everything. The ship has to find the venues, and the singers have to, I mean, so I'm gonna have some big names on. I got my friend Skip Martin from Kool and the Gang. I got I'm gonna list their names later once I give them their deposits.
Well, I
But
mean,
I'm gonna
that's
come
gonna
to
be
your show
amazing.
in Atlanta. You doing something in Atlanta, and I love Atlanta with them crazy people. I'm gonna come to Atlanta because that's one of my favorite spots.
Oh, we're gonna have to get you at the center stage in Atlanta at Crossroads.
Right,
Definitely. I would love
right,
to have you there.
right. I've performed at the center stage. I like it. I like it.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I want to thank you so much. Okay, so how can people get in contact with you? And also how can people see the cruise? Because that's going to be the biggest thing.
Put it like this. I told you I'm so old and I'm horrible at social media. They could check me out on MySpace and tell them
Oh
on my MySpace
no. Wait,
page.
hold on, stop. MySpace.
Come to my MySpace page and blow me up on MySpace.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
No. If you go, you know, it's so funny.
Wait, you
If
still
you,
on
if you,
MySpace, brother?
no, I ain't got no MySpace. I'm on. If you go to Facebook, you'll see my cruise. It's called. I tell you what. It's called All Star Music and Comedy. All Star Music and Comedy Cruise. If you go there right now, I'm so ghetto. I still got the old date and the old video on it.
Well, we're
I
gonna
didn't even
update
take it
that.
off.
We're gonna
Yeah, we
update
got
that.
to update it.
We're gonna update
Cause,
that,
cause,
and I'm gonna send you out a copy of the video with the update. And we're gonna put all that information, the updated information, in the description box
right.
below.
Okay, May 11th to the 18th, 2024. It's gonna be some major acts. We're going on a beautiful ship, and it's going to the Mexican Riviera. People like AJ,
Oh, it's gonna
people
be
scared
hot.
of Mexico. Oh, it's gonna be hot,
Thank
and it's
you.
gonna be fun, right?
I'd
And
rather
they
be
said,
heat
hey, yeah,
than it to be
people like
cold.
AJ, people don't want to go to Mexico. I go, it's not Mexico, it's the Mexican Riviera. That's the difference between rich and poor. We're
I
gonna
know.
go where the rich people go. And it's going
And
to yeah, it's going to I don't even know the name. It's going to Cabo San Lucas,
okay.
it's going to Puerto Vallarta, and
Mm-hmm.
it's going to Mazatlan, which are beautiful places. It's different than Cancun or Ensenada. And I mean, so we're going to some nice places. So
And you need a
look it up. And thanks
translator.
for
You need a translator. You need someone that speaks Spanish to go with you. And I'm the perfect person.
You speak Spanish?
Sí, yo puedo hablar español muy bien.
Oh,
Continuamente, yo puedo hablar español y yo puedo traducir toda la cosa que está pasando ahí en México. Muchísimas
oh,
gracias.
you dead sick. Where you learn that from, Yaya? I'm dead. You got me. Yaya has shocked me. Yaya has shocked me about 4 times about her, and I'm not gonna reveal what she's saying. But now she speaks Spanish. Are you Dominican Republican?
I am not. I learned Spanish in high school in the streets and from my best friend, my high school best friend's mother, who didn't want us to learn English. So she taught me Spanish.
Well, we all took Spanish in high school.
Yeah, but no one was
we
the
only know
president of the
6
Spanish
words.
club. I was president of the Spanish club for 3 years in a row. I was the geek. But
Oh
it gives
my
me great
God.
jobs. And I sing in Spanish. I write in Spanish. I speak
Do
in
you?
Spanish. I translate. I do all of that.
Well, good for you. You have to have a good memory to know another language. So
Yeah.
bless you for being that smart. Well,
So
thank
then
you for
you're
having
taking
me
me
on
with
this
you.
show. Well, I will take you with me because you can sing too. And you can sing to the Spanish people. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. I'm gonna take your mama too, because she can sing. You just told me who your mama was. That was one of the shockers. You and your mama. All y'all can come. This gonna blow. We're gonna blow this cruise up. Forget y'all. I ain't y'all. I'm gonna update my flyer. I'm gonna update the website. I'm so
We're gonna
ghetto.
update this video right here too.
I'm gonna update this video. Next week I'll be ready. That's so funny. Well,
AJ, thank you so much for being on the show. I truly appreciate it. It's been such a wonderful time just speaking with you and getting to know you. And I can't wait for our future to just, collide where we can actually take a hug and I can meet your family.
Thank you for having me on this show. It's amazing. And people have to know how extraordinary you are doing what you're doing for 6 years. Wow.
Actually, more than
Wow.
6 years. I started in
Wow.
2006. So this is 2023. This is a long time, darling. It's been a minute.
You did say 2006. I added that up to 6 years. That's how bad I was in school. have, have a blessed day.
You
And
too.
tell all your viewers and fans that don't stop doing and don't stop chasing your dreams, because that's life, your dreams.
That's right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to dare to be different. And until next time, guys, bye.